Shout out to Inkslasher, who have also made a video about real-world prototypes of buildings and areas in Warzone. Check out his video as he talks about few of the buildings there, some even new to me. But not all of the buildings are from Donetsk, so for more unique findings and more deals, subscribe to my channel because there is some cool stuff coming. The point of my videos is to show you the crazy amount of details of my hometown of Donetsk that Warzone designers have thoroughly and carefully recreated in the game. As many of you already heard, the Donetsk airport area in Warzone is based on Donetsk airport in Ukraine, where the Russian-Ukrainian war is still going on for already 6 years at the time of recording. Usually, when people talk about the airport area, they include Control Tower, which I have discussed in great detail in the first video on this channel, the airport with the runway itself, the garages cooperative across the road, and the Atlas Superstore. However, I would like to extend the area that can be logically grouped with the airport even further to the east of the map to include everything up to this junction. You'll see why, as well as some cool things in a minute. We have many things to discuss, so let's start. Initially, Donetsk airport was this small building on the side, which we call Old Terminal. The bigger building, as well as the control tower and the tarmac, were finished in 2011 as a part of preparations for Euro 2012, European Football League Championship, which Ukraine hosted together with Poland. Donetsk was one of the 5 Ukrainian cities where games were played, and it is a big football city in Ukraine overall, home of the Europa League champion 2009 Shakhtar Donetsk. Thus, we got a new airport and a new stadium. Yes, this stadium. The new Donetsk airport, I'll just call it DAP from now on, like we do, was recreated with great detail in the game, but some things were omitted or compressed to fit level design better. Just from the outside. The roads are exactly the same. The overall shape of the terminal and the position of these 2 gates is the same. Parking lot and buildings, and this group of buildings, even the grass patches, it is all beyond any reasonable doubt a Donetsk airport. Among the things that we don't see in the game, we have those parking lots that were removed or shrunk. Extra gates were replaced with this one because the building itself was also compressed. Old terminal was changed to this building. Also, they kind of rearranged the buildings in the west of the airport and even added entrance to the subway, which we don't really have, but it's a running joke in Donetsk that it exists exclusively for the city establishment. Just below, south of the airport, we have a garage cooperative, which is located exactly at the same place as in the real life. The cooperative itself doesn't look too similar. Here is how it looked like several years ago, but overall it looks more or less legit. The gates are open and the cars and other stuff is either evacuated or stolen. Moving on, to the west we get the infamous Metro cash and carry store, first one of 2 in Donetsk. This German version of Costco was notoriously marauded in the initial days of military action in Donetsk airport, when staff had to flee the conflict zone. The game counterpart, Atlas Store, looks quite similar outside and inside. Notice the parking zone and the blue roofing, the overall color scheme of the store, the shape of the building and its relative position to the airport and the garages. Next we get to the zone, which I haven't yet seen covered by anyone, the airport related structures. Unsurprisingly, they are also almost a copy-paste from the map of Donetsk. The area immediately east of the main terminal was rearranged and expanded a bit. The old terminal of Donetsk airport was turned into an apartment block and some garages. Level designers added 3 hangars to the north, as well as the entrance to the subway, which doesn't exist neither in the game nor in real life. Hotel and the police station were replaced with some random houses, but they sure kept the green areas in their places. They have also kept the parking lot, but added some more garages, and instead of the small park under it, they've put another actual building from Donetsk. I present to you Kompania Alex Nissan Center, which in the game is called Kompania Vladko, which is sort of Ukrainian sounding last name. Those auto salons are scattered here and there throughout the Warzone map, but in Donetsk it is located not that far from the airport and is now damaged, robbed and closed down. Next, we have this whole sector with helipad, warehouses, hangars, fire and police stations. This is also very similar to Donetsk airport, except that police station should have been closer to the airport and fire station was actually way back on the runway but now is destroyed. Both of those buildings are somewhat reminiscent of several structures in my hometown, but I haven't yet found the exact match. Notice also those 3 black aircrafts plus 1 on the runway, which are obviously military planes. In real life, during the first days of Battle of Dub, you can also see 4 aircrafts parked in further from the runway. Some were here on the map of the Warzone, but those were civilian planes. In the last sector of the airport related structures seen in the game, we find more hangars, substation and fuel storage tanks. Again, those were a bit compressed and simplified, but they are clearly taken from the Donetsk airport. Finally, next to the Metro/Atlas store, we see an electronics store in the game. However, in Donetsk we had Toyota auto dealership there, obviously destroyed now. Finally, I would like to show you the thing that ties it all together and shows that the whole city was in fact inspired by Donetsk. It's the road. Starting from this juncture, which in real life is called Putilovsky Bridge, or Putilovka for short, it's quite an important juncture in our city, always been, since it's basically a northern gate to the city. As we can see, the game version of this juncture looks exactly the same from above. All the loops, lines, even the railroad track that in both cases come directly from the train station. They've only lowered this flyover here, and that is the only mismatch. I think it was added in the game due to its significance of the battles for the Dub. In the initial stages there was this crazy incident when a whole truck full of armed separatists that were driving to redeploy in their airport was absolutely destroyed by their own on this bridge. And a bit later this bridge was also blown up purely as a preemptive measure, again by the separatists or Russians, to prevent Ukrainian forces to enter the city. But what is cool is that not only this junction, but the rest of the roads that lead to all of the aforementioned objects are kept in the game. If we follow the contour of the road, we can clearly see that it's the same road we have in Donetsk, just slightly corrected to match Warzone map's layout. And this is just amazing to me how they've sneaked my hometown in the game in a way that requires studying the map to realize the amount of similarities. Well, that's all for now. Subscribe for even more Warzone in real life videos, and until the next time, pa pa!